Hi! Yay! Happy Monday! I'm so excited for tonight's team call. It is our last team call of the month, which is insane. Like, such a big weekend, such a big week. So if you guys don't know, we had BOD groups launch on Sunday. Our whole team, the national wake up call today was all about BOD groups. So if you haven't catched that, make sure you go listen to Carl. There also was 153 new diamonds announced today, which is absolutely insane. Like I'm still blown away by that, because you guys, like, that's incredible. That really means that sorry, I'm getting distracted by the admit thing. That really truly goes to show you guys, like, people are doing the dang thing. Like, there are people out there that are needing our help, that are getting helped, and people, this is the time to make moves in your business. This is the time to really go for it. I mean, don't let any limiting beliefs like get in your head about it. Like, there are people that need our, okay? So with that said too, April 30th is the cutoff. So I know we are not going to Summit. I know that has been canceled, but like I've said, they are going to recognize you guys. You guys are going to do something. You know how they are. They're going to do something big. They're going to do something special and memorable, especially because we can't go to Summit. I know that they're going to do something. So whether that's hitting Emerald or you want to start qualifications for your Diamond, April 30th, aka Thursday, is the cutoff, okay? So just know that. But otherwise, I'm going to go through our Success Club leaderboard real quick, because you guys, I'm super proud of you guys. We've had a lot of new coaches, and just, you guys have just been making moves this month. So I'm going to just shout out Success Club and above. So in Success Club 5 for this month, we've got Jess at SE6, Jordan at SE6, and Rachel, who is one of our new coaches, at SE8. So she is so close to getting that SE10. And then at SE10 and above, we've got Shannon at SE12, Alex at SE12, and myself at SE16. So that is awesome, you guys. And we've got tons of people that are on the board with either 2 to 4 points, which means, you guys, that is so stinking close. Like, let's get everyone over into Success Club, okay? There's 3 days left. Oh my God, that is so much time. Like, do not get discouraged by that, okay? So really quick, before I introduce our guest speaker, I want to have Rose, who's one of our new coaches. This is your first team call. Can you unmute yourself and just quickly introduce yourself and tell us who you are and where you're from?
Okay.
I am muted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Hi. So I'm Rose Amber. I live in Texas, and yeah, I'm just getting started. It's been a bumpy start because I'm getting ghosted by some people, but I haven't given up, so I'm still trying. I'm not working right now with all the COVID stuff going on, and so I'm home all day with the little one. That's pretty much it right now.
Oh my God, is that your office?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And like his little teepeed back there.
I love it. Yay, I'm so happy you're on tonight. All right, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, all right, so without further ado, I'm so pumped for our guest speaker tonight. So Ashley is actually under Team Root to Rise downline. So many of you actually many of you probably remember our Diamond Push group that we ran back in February. I co-ran that with one of my coach friends, bestie, success partner, who I felt like we met at New Leadership Conference over a year ago, Victoria Phillips. Have stayed in touch, stayed friends ever since. She and I co-hosted that group. So many of you probably remember that group. Ashley is one of Victoria's coaches. So I actually just heard Ashley speak on Carly Lindor's call. I'm such a stalker. The other week, I listened to the team call recording and I was freaking like blown away. So this girl is freaking killing it. She crushed March and she is a lifetime diamond, 1 month away from Success Club All-Star, right? Okay. Guys, that's insane. So I know many of you, again, speaking of summit and speaking of like just recognition, being an all-star means that you've hit Success Club at least 12 months in a row. Okay, that's a huge feat. That's an incredible thing. Being an all-star legend means that you've hit it 24 months in a row. So that's something really to just keep in mind. And every time you kind of get down to that, wire point too, just kind of remember that in the back of your head, like, oh, what do you want to give up all-star? Because it's definitely, if you're competitive, if you like recognition, it's just one of those things. So I'm excited to hear from her. I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story. I'm excited for you to hear, what she's been doing. And I just am going to let you take it away, Ashley, because I'm just so excited.
Cool. Hi, guys. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, cool. So hi, I'm Ashley. That was a great introduction, Amy. Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to just jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys because I am a type 1 on the Enneagram and I love to make things. So you get a full-on presentation today. So I want to talk to you guys about how I hit Success Club as an Emerald coach. So currently right now, I don't know if you guys, like how new you are to coaching, but every year you kind of start over with rank. So like I'm still a lifetime diamond because I've hit diamond and I've held my quals, but I'm not an active diamond because I don't have my 2 emeralds on each leg currently, and I'll get into what happened there. But currently I'm sitting at emerald and I am thriving as a coach. I hit SC37 in March. Right? Yeah, last month was March. Okay, April, I'm sitting at SC32 right now. I'm making the most I have ever made with coaching and consistently. And so really just wanting to emphasize to you guys that like rank isn't everything. Rank is a big deal. And there are so many bonuses and pluses that come with hitting ranks, and they are important, but ultimately they don't define you and they don't define what success is in this business. And so know that I'm coming to you from somebody who's sitting at Emerald in the back office. And so yeah, let's jump into it. So I first want to start with like my story in brief, just so you kind of know a little bit of like where I came from. So these top pictures here you can see are me right after I had my son. I'm a mom, by the way. I have a son named Forrest who's, 2.5 now. And so some of these pictures are me kind of freshly postpartum, and then right when I started and found Beachbody, like this first one of me flexing was like after one of my first workouts. And obviously these bottom ones are kind of where I've arrived at. And so when I came upon Beachbody, I was about 7 months postpartum. And at that time I was like deeply, deeply depressed, really struggling with postpartum depression. Motherhood wasn't fulfilling me in the way that I really anticipated it would. I got married at, oh my God, I'm so bad with ages. I got married at 20. Yeah, 20, and my husband was 23. And then we were married a year and then ended up getting pregnant, not by accident. We wanted to have kids young. And I just always had this image of what motherhood was in my head. And it was something that I believed was going to like totally fulfill me. I thought it was my calling. Like I purposefully didn't pursue, finishing college before having kids because like I just always wanted to be a mom. I was a preschool teacher at a community center leading up to having my son. And I just thought that like that was it. And then I had my son and it wasn't it. And it didn't fulfill me in the way, like I said, that I really anticipated it would. And I was left feeling kind of just like lost and wondering like, is this it? Like, do I just kind of have to settle with this feeling of like, I am this little things person and like, that's it. Like, I don't get any part of myself. And it sounds cliche, but I was just praying to God that like, I would have something that was my own, that I would find passion in something that could be mine aside from being Forrest's mom. And I kid you not, I like stumbled upon Carly on Instagram and thus, was introduced to Beachbody. And there's a whole like timeline of events of like how I got to signing up. But it was literally like Beachbody was like came down from heaven and was like, here you go. Like, not only can you get your health in check being, a postpartum mom, you can also like have a business and like have your thing. And, so just kind of going from like this, I mean, even looking at these pictures, it's really crazy because like you can just see it all over me. I was really lost. I wasn't confident in who I was, like, and then to compare them to these pictures on the bottom, like I am thriving and I'm so surprised I haven't cried yet. I always get emotional when I talk about my story, but like, it's crazy how powerful what we have access to like is. And like the fact that it literally can change your life. And I know you probably hear that a lot, but like as somebody whose life it's personally changed, like if you dive in full force to the workouts, to the nutrition, and to specifically the community aspect, and you like just open yourself up to giving it your all and letting it change you, like you will be shocked because like this can be anybody. And I preach that all the time. Like we have access to the same resources. Every single one of us have access to the same programs, the same like groups, the same, nutrition guidance. And it really all falls on you and like your willingness to see it through and the work you want to put into it. But like the change and transformation is there if you are willing and wanting to like go through it. It blows my mind that this is, I mean, I should probably give you some dates too. September of 2018 was when I signed up. So I'm almost at my 2-year mark, and it's crazy. Like, again, how much a person can change, not only physically, like that blows my mind physically, how much I can change in like a year and a half, but like mentally, I am a completely different person. So that's just a little bit of my background, and my story. So moving forward, I want to share like a few key things that I think are really, 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 what do I want to say? Like important about me and that I think need to be important for all of us as coaches. So I wholeheartedly believe in the resources that we have to offer and how they can change people's lives. Like I was just saying, I wholeheartedly believe in the coach opportunity in the company that I work for. Like I bleed Beachbody Blue. I am like obsessed with this company. I was just talking about all my stories today. Like I'm obsessed with Carl Deichler. He reminds me a little bit of my dad, which I think definitely helps, but like, I just love that man. And if you don't know who Carl is, like go spend some time stalking him on Instagram. He's the CEO of our company. Like he founded Beachbody from the ground up, and he's still here today on the National Wake Up Call, like revamping things and like still pouring into it and finding how he can make it better. And like, I love him. I love how he responded to the sign guy when the sign guy was like, stop posting your home workouts. And Carl like fought back with that whole thing. Like I'm obsessed. I love Beachbody. I wholeheartedly believe in myself and my own capabilities, thanks to personal development. And I wholeheartedly believe that this is not just any other network marketing company. And this is something I feel so passionately about. And I don't want to offend anyone here if you're involved, if you like products from any other MLMs, whatever, like no shade, no tea. But like, I think Beachbody is so special because we are not focusing on a product. Yes, we offer amazing shakes. We offer amazing supplements, just like you could go to a GNC and you could buy awesome pre-workout. Like we offer awesome products, but the premise and the foundation of our company is a service, and it's fitness. And like, you can't get that from, Monet, shampoos or skincares or even oils. Like it makes it harder as a coach because products are easy to blame. People like, I don't know if you guys have ever looked into other MLMs, but the starting package for most MLMs is about $160. So like Monet, you get a bunch of shampoos and stuff. It's about $160. Oil starter kits are about $160. Like we have that baseline of $160 to get started. And I see so many people who are more apt to spend that money on a set of products than on like a year's access to like a gym, right? And it's because you sign up for a product and in your head, you have that thought that like, if this doesn't work, it's not my fault. If it doesn't work, it's just a bad product. When you sign up with Beachbody, when you invest in yourself and not a product, if it doesn't work, it falls on you. And it falls on the fact you have to turn your finger on yourself and just say, well, I didn't do the work and I didn't show up. And that's hard because it's a people business, and it's believing in people before they believe in themselves. And so yeah, I mean, that's a whole can of worms that I feel very passionately about. But I think as Beachbody, we are like so unique. Like I think I might feel a little weird trying to like push products on people and talk about how they change your life. Like, you know, I'm sure shampoo can be great for your hair, but like, can it really change your life in the way that fitness can, right? In the way that like, you know, anyways, I digress. So I wholeheartedly believe that like, we are not just any other network marketing MLM company. And then lastly, I want to be the girl that is still here. And this is kind of like my motto for coaching. When I first got started, my sister-in-law, who was living with us at the time, unfollowed me from Instagram, stopped like watching all of my stuff. She still would come home from work trips and be like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like, I saw all your stuff. And even though I knew that she had unfollowed me and wasn't watching my stuff, like, that was kind of my first taste of like what would come if I put myself out there with this. And I kind of then and there decided, like, I want to be the girl that's still here. Like, not just in regards to my sister-in-law, but like, you know, I lost followers when I really dove into coaching and started bleeding Beachbody Blue and sharing it with my all. Like, people didn't want to see that. And at first it hurts and it sucks. And you are like, well, crap, that was a bad idea. But I want to be the girl that is still here. I want to be the girl that when my sister-in-law checks in on what I'm doing, I'm still here. I'm still sharing my workouts and I've gotten shredded. Like, I look even better than when you last checked in on me. Like, I'm still here talking about my community. It's bigger and better than ever. Like, I want to be the girl that is still here. And I think that's a really positive way of looking at it. You could talk about like revenge, getting your revenge body or whatever, but like being the girl that is still here, being consistent, like, that's who I want to be. And I've held on to that. And I feel like I'm finally at the place now where I'm really coming into my own as a leader. I'm like kind of really peaking with my fitness journey. Like I'm in the best shape of my life. And I know that when people come and look at my Instagram, they're like, oh, she's still doing that. And like, look at her. And that's who I want to be. And so take that with you. Like, if anything, be the girl that is still there and still showing up and getting killer results and changing her life in the meantime. Okay, so from there, let's go into stepping into your hard shit. So I changed the wording on this because I feel like hardship is a word that, for me at least, makes me think in like a victim consciousness. And that is something that is or was really prevalent in like who I was. I was always the girl that wanted to stay the victim. I always wanted to stay in my pity. I always wanted to be the one that had something, you know, the finger to point at everybody else. And I lived my life like that for like literally up until I found Beachbody, and even my first like year in Beachbody. Like, I was always the first one to like cry wolf and talk about why it wasn't me, but it was everything else that was out of my control. And I feel like I've since grown from that, thank God. And it's been really hard to constantly, like, this business is so humbling, you guys. It is so humbling if you want it to be. Like, it's easy to get into this and think, well, I'm just not this, or people just aren't buying this, and I'm just not blah, 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 blah. But like, if we can turn the finger on ourselves and be like, no, like, this is where I struggle, and how can I be better at that? How can I like step into that? Instead of looking at it as like a hardship, it's like hard shit. Step into it, figure it out, and move through it and move forward. And so for me recently, I've had some really, really hard moments come up with coaching. And this was something that I had heard everybody talk about. You're going to have these moments in coaching where like things crumble and it's hard and you don't know like how you're going to rebuild. I heard everybody talk about it. I went to my first team retreat with Carly last year, and who was Amy Silverman was our speaker. And she said like, okay, I want all of you guys to raise your hand who like plan on being here and blah, 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 whatever. And she like stated a fact about how like, well, in a year, only like 2 of you are still going to be here or something like that. And that was like, okay, yeah, Amy, I hear you, whatever. But like, she was touching on the fact that like, everybody's going to come in to these moments where like you either decide you're going to keep your path and you're going to see it through, or you're going to decide that like this business and this opportunity aren't for me. And I've come into a lot of those recently. So Amy was talking about how I'm about a month short of being an SC All-Star, which is true and not true. So I last November went to a Post Malone concert. It was fantastic. At the time, I was what I thought thriving in my business. I was like, this this was November. Yeah, I already said that. I had blue hair. I was loving life. I went to this Post Malone concert with my husband for his birthday and some friends, and it was amazing. And shortly after that, I got hit with like this post-concert blue, like the blues, post-concert blues. I don't know if you guys can like relate to that, but especially as a mom, it really brought me back to those feelings I had freshly postpartum of like grieving the life that I no longer could live. I went to this concert. I saw all of these kids or people who are my age, like living a life that I could no longer be part of. And it really, like, it just brought me back to that place of grief. And I went through a weird season there. So up until that point, it was November. In January of 2019, I decided I was going to be an SC All-Star. I had heard everybody and their mother say, you need to hit SC. And so I finally listened after like 4 months of coaching. And I was like, okay, January, this is my year. I'm going to be an SC All-Star. And I did it. I started hitting SC every single month. I hit SC in November, and then going into October, and I was going through this weird, like, it was honestly like a midlife crisis. Like everything that I had learned and grown into with coaching was like out the window. I was questioning like everything. I even drove to Spokane. My husband was like, Ashley, you need to like go figure your shit out. So he was like, go visit Vic. Like I drove to Spokane and I spent time with her and I met Lane, and it was a weird time. And thankfully I've come out of it. But in that month, I did not hit SC. I hit SC. I think I was honestly at I was at SC4 because I had signed up 2 girls. I was at SC4 and I was scrambling the night before. It was like October 31st and I was up until midnight. Like I had sent out share cards. I was waiting for these girls to fill them out, and like I dropped the ball and I did not hit SC that month. And it was like the biggest gut punch of my life. I was 2 months short. At that time, the prize for it was the white roller suitcase, which I wanted so bad, which that's like another incentive. Like if you guys don't know, you get incentives and prizes for hitting Success Club, and like this year they're okay. Like last year's roller suitcase was like so badass. This year I think it's like a Theragun, those ones that like massage your muscles, which that's pretty cool. And I'm definitely getting that this year. But yeah, so in October, like I came to this point of like, my business felt like it crumbled. It didn't, but it like, you worked so long to get to that point, and I was 2 months short, and I just let that happen. And I sat in the pity and I was a victim to it for a couple of days. And then I, again, turned the finger on myself and was like, Ashley, this was your own doing. This was the fact that like you went through this weird time, which is okay. Give yourself grace for that. But like, just accept that you let this happen. But like, what are you going to do moving forward? And I literally was at a crossroads of like, it's too hard. I don't want to restart. Like, I feel like shit about myself. Like, I'm just going to stay the victim to this. I'm going to stay the victim of the fact that I went through a midlife crisis, or I'm going to just do it. I'm going to face it. I'm going to say that freaking sucked, but I'm not going to let that happen again. And I chose this path. And so I chose to keep going, and I let it fuel me. Like, I'm not going to let that happen again. And there was so much like, there's always things to learn from moments like that. Right. So from there, I finally started my uphill again. I was feeling more myself. Thank God. And I ended up hosting my first retreat. Me and Vic went in on it together. We hosted an Emerald retreat. There was like 7 girls there. It was awesome. It was so much fun. I had 2 Emeralds there. Like my diamond was thriving, and it was awesome. It was a great time. We had a photographer come in. We paid for an Airbnb. Girls flew in from like all over the country. It was amazing. Shortly after that, both of my Emeralds who were at that retreat decided they no longer wanted to coach. And that was like, again, the biggest gut punch. This one a little bit more so because it was a little bit out of my hands. Like I can't control other people and their decisions, but like I just spent a lot of money to bring you to this retreat, and like now you're quitting with me? What? And that is the name of the game, you guys. Like you are going to encounter, maybe not to that extent where you bring people to retreats and they quit. That definitely happens all the time, but like these are things that are going to happen. You're going to come into, you're going to send out all the invites and get ghosted all the time. Like, just accept that, like, this is the name of the game. And I preach this all the time to clients. Like, when you're entering into a fitness journey, you cannot expect that, like, it's going to be a breeze, right? Like, duh. But you can't go into it, there's a cycle with people in fitness, right? Like, you get into it, you're good for a while, and then you fall off and you're done being healthy, and then you wait a couple months and then you get back into being healthy, right? Like there's a cycle, and we're here to break that cycle. And what I tell girls is like, nothing changes between your cycles. But I think people they go through a cycle and then they say, oh, I just wasn't ready. I need to just be more prepared. I just need to be I need to be less busy, right? Like they think that there's these other things that are going to better prepare them. And ultimately they don't want to realize that you're going to fail. They don't want to realize that like, it's going to be hard. There's going to be days they don't want to do it. And like, if you want it to be different going into it, you just have to have a different mentality, and you have to expect that it's going to be hard. You have to expect and accept that you are going to fall down and that you are going to fail, and you're going to come into contact with people who waste your time and waste your money and quit on you and don't believe in, like, you have to expect those things. And I want you right now to accept those things because they're going to happen. And if you can have that mentality now, when you come into contact with those moments, it'll be so much less derailing, and it won't like hammer on your belief like it has mine, you know? And so just hear it from me, like, expect them, accept them, and just like go into them knowing you're going to choose to go through them. And then this little tidbit at the bottom is something that's been really helpful for me with kind of getting out of my own victim consciousness of like, stop problem stating and start problem solving. So like, yes, acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge that like, this is hard and that sucked, but like, stop spending so much time talking about it and start spending time brainstorming on how you can grow from there. Okay, let's move into like the actual meat and potatoes of this call. So 3 things that I changed within my business that I feel like really helped elevate me. And they're really simple. So I'm going to dive into each of these categories: creating systems, creating FOMO, and then creating the environment. And then I say down here at the bottom, these 3 things are simple implementations that made my work more fluid. They made my business run more like a business. And they bled into the way that I shared. And so when I started taking it seriously, so did other people. I feel like I really went from being another another MLMer or network marketer to an actual business owner running something that people wanted to be a part of. So we're going to dive into the first one, which is creating systems. So three ways that I did this. The first one being welcome emails. So when I first got started, it was really just finding my footing. I would sign girls up, and then I would spend a lot of time messaging them like, okay, this is how you access BOD. This is how you, like, what program are you interested in? This is where you access nutrition. And like just spending so much time personally having those conversations, which isn't bad, but like you get to the point where you don't want to be, I don't want to say wasting time because that's not a waste of time, but you can be more efficient in how you get people started, and where you're not having to spend those, you know, that time you're spending setting people up could be spent sending more invites, right? So for me, it was like creating a welcome email that once they fill out their share cart, I send them over this welcome email that says, hi, like, welcome to your fitness family. I'm so excited to crush goals with you. And then I literally link everything, and it's all written out. At this point, I just copy and paste and just change the name that I'm sending it to. And then I attach my like getting started right guide to that as well. So it has like the links to my current groups. It has the links to my team page. It explains like what my group is. It explains what's in my team page. And then at the bottom, it also has some expectations of me. So like as a coach, you can expect me to check into my groups, blah, 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 like all these things. So it's also nice because it's relieving a little bit off of you. It's taking things off of your plate, but it's also setting the expectations for what your coaches can expect of you, while also putting the ball in their court. So like they've signed up, and you're sending them that information. If they want to be a part of the groups, they will take the initiative to add themselves in there. If I've had girls come back to me and be like, what is this like? Am I going to be added to your accountability group? I'm like, did you read the email I sent you? She's like, oh, no, like I should probably do that. And I'm like, yeah, like the ball is in your court. Like, and again, I think having that implemented, people take me more seriously. When you're working with emails, people take you more seriously for whatever reason they do. And so that was a huge one, and it's a great time saver. It takes a little bit of time to create that email, but once it's created, it's something that you can just use. So that was huge. And then another thing is I do these monthly client sign-up spots. So every month, depending on like, so for example, this one we did Give a Fuck February. So it was like, care about yourself in February. And this was like our little banner. So I do this monthly, depending on whatever theme we have going on. I'll create a different little graphic on Canva with slots for people to, like, once they sign up, I'll put their names in there. So this is great because going back, like I always had a hard time with keeping track of who I was signing up and when I should check in with him. And this has been so helpful because I can look back in Canva at any given month, you know, February, March, I can see all the people I signed up, and I can so easily check in with them. Hey, like, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. So That's been super helpful. And then also having structure within my accountability groups has been really helpful, just for me, but also I think for my challengers and what they can expect. So we kind of moved away from doing the traditional daily check-ins or weekly check-ins, and Vic and I have been implementing like a schedule. So like on Mondays, we do an affirmation for the week that we focus on. On Wednesdays, we upload some kind of personal development as like a midweek pick-me-up, and it's introducing our clients to personal development. So it's like a little Rachel Hollis video, or like a really short podcast, something that's short so that they'll actually listen to it. And then on Friday, we do virtual happy hours or game nights. So we play like trivia via Zoom, which has been really great to connect with these people aside from health and fitness. Like you're curating those relationships aside from like accountability groups, which has been so much fun. And I feel like it's really made us all closer, and it's kind of went from being like an accountability group to like a community of women. And then on Saturdays, we do sip and sweats. So like we all get together on Zoom and work out on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, I upload weekly recipes. So having that structure, I really like that, opposed to doing like weekly check-ins, just because those were getting kind of old. And it's just helped me stay really on track too. So creating FOMO. So there's 3 ways that I do this. And I'm going to dive into these 3 ways a little bit deeper and show you some more examples. So the first one being, again, these monthly client sign-up spots, and then sneak peeks of the valuable content that I'm providing within my groups, and then also sharing testimony. So let's dive into first how I create FOMO on my Instagram. So these are some screenshots of my stories. So these first 2 here you can see were from this Spring Sweat Studio was our March group, and then Quarantine Clapback is our current April group. And you can see here, so every time somebody signs up, I put their name on this little list. And then I also put a little blurb about them, like, oh, Emily was loving the gym, but she misses the gym and she's wanting to like find a fitness routine, whatever. Or, oh, Tiffany is a mom and she's looking to whatever, like a little blip about them to show that like, this is a person, this is their story. And then I think people who are watching it can hopefully relate to, you know, some of these people. Then I also put some kind of song. So everybody gets their own little song using the music feature on Instagram. And so I do that. And then I also do screenshots of my type form, which I don't get a lot of people, honestly, who fill out my type form. But when they do, I will just take a screenshot of it after I've messaged them, and I'll just post it on my stories like, hey, Megan, check your inbox. I can't wait to talk about goals with you. And I feel like these are ways that I'm not having to constantly be talking about my groups, but I'm putting these things out there consistently, and people who are coming in who are maybe new it's like curiosity marketing. They're like, what is this? Like, I want to be a part of that. And so it's again, that curiosity marketing, which makes people really intrigued. And because I have these things that are structured, again, I think people take it a little bit more seriously too. And so even if they don't know what it is, they want to be a part of it. So those have been really helpful. And then this last one here on the end is just what I do for my own team page. I'll compile everybody who signed up and within a month, and I'll post it in my team page and just be like, welcome all of, you know, these are the girls that joined us in March, like say welcome, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll also post that on my Instagram just to show that like, I am getting people in here, and like, this is what it looks like, and here are their faces, like they're real people. So these have been some ways that I've been creating FOMO that have been working really well. And then sharing sneak peeks of valuable content that you are providing. So this is a couple ways that I do that. So I'll share, like, these are videos, but I'm not going to play them. But like this first one here is me just scrolling through the recipes that I compiled for the week and just talking about like what recipes are going to be posted. And then at the bottom, I say like, clients, this will be uploaded in our wellness community tomorrow. Like be sure you're on the lookout. And again, like you're giving sneak peeks, but you're also hinting that like this is exclusive and like you don't get to see all of it unless you're in there. So these recipes, you guys, are so easy. I'm not spending a lot of time like literally typing recipes. I'm literally going onto the Beachbody blog. And if you have not been on the Beachbody blog, you are missing out. If you have not checked out like Fixate, you guys are missing out. There is so much content already out there from Beachbody that I go into Beachbody blog, I search recipes, and I just find 5 of my favorite. I copy and paste them into a cute Canva layout, and like it's that simple. And I also get to refer to my clients that like if you want more like this, you can go onto the Beachbody blog. Like this is a resource that you have access to. These are all meal plan friendly. Like it's just a matter of making them cute for me. and putting and compiling them so that they're in one place for my girls. So I'll post these in our team or in our accountability group, and then I'll save them in a file tab so that like new clients who are coming in can also access them. So that's been really great. And then like I'll post, so this little sip and sweat one is the event within our accountability group, and I just screenshot that and I put it on Instagram. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys so you can see it too. I just put it on Instagram. I'm like, I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And again, people are like, what is that? Like, that's so fun. They do it every week. Like, I want to be a part of it. So that's another little way that I do it. And then also just like scrolling, this third one here is me just scrolling through my accountability group and showing that girls are checking in. And then this last one here on the end was a video of us on our virtual game night, all just on trivia playing. So that's a few ways you can create FOMO. And if you're like, well, I don't have those things to share about, like make them, create them, like put some recipes together. Like I said, it's so simple. Or like go in with a friend and host like a little Saturday sip and sweat and talk about it on your Instagram story. Nobody knows if only 3 people are showing up. That's okay. Like you can create the content to put out there. So I don't want to hear you saying victim consciousness that you have nothing to share about, because if you have nothing to share about, create things to share about. Okay. And then creating FOMO, sharing testimonies. So I do this 2 ways, sharing client testimonies and then sharing my own testimony. So what I do for this is I just will go through and screenshot, like if there's anything, I don't screenshot everything, but like if there's a particular check-in from one of my girls that's like really powerful, I'll screenshot that. I blur out all of their information so that I'm not sharing like who they are on my social media, but I'll just share that like, look, like I have these people who are utilizing this thing and like, look at what it's doing for them. So I do that here. And then I also have been lately sharing within the archive feature of Instagram. So this is why it's so important for you guys to be sharing your journey from the start. I am so thankful that I have these clips of me literally doing my first ever workout with Beachbody here. And what I've been doing lately is I'll share my current workout clips for the day, and then I'll also go through my archive and pick a workout clip from a year ago and also compare it, like, hey, because I've had so many people recently who have come upon my page and been like, I don't know how you do it. Like, you had a baby, there's no way. I'm like, girl, don't discredit where I came from. Like, yes, I look like this now, but it's because I look like this. And I'm going to play this for you guys. This was like the first time I ever did a lunge postpartum. I was holding 8-pound weights and I had to drop to 5-pound weights. So funny. Here she goes. Oh God. Oh. It's crazy. 5-pound weights. Like I came from that and now I'm like cranking out, you know, like jumping plyo lunges and stuff. And so sharing these clips has been really powerful to show like, this is where I started and look at where I'm at now, all because I just continued to show up. And so like for you guys, if you're new coaches, like start sharing now. And I know it's not pretty, it might not be pretty and you might not have the best form, but like I didn't. And like looking back, I'm like, oh God, I can't believe I shared that. But like, I'm so glad I did, because people want to see the journey. They can relate to the journey. If you just come out 6 months down the road and all of a sudden you're like, you lost a bunch of weight and you're starting to get abs and like you're eating really healthy. Yeah, people are going to be like, oh, I want to know what you're doing. But like, people can't relate. Just like now I've come into a season where like people can't relate to where I'm at now, which is okay, because now I feel like I'm stepping into more of a leadership role rather than a like, come do this with me role, which is fine. Both of them you can be successful with, but like people want to see the journey and they can ultimately really relate to the journey. So start sharing. Don't wait until you're at some like ideal place. Okay. Creating the environment. So for this, I talked a little bit about how Vic and I had changed up how we were implementing like check-ins within our accountability group. We moved away from doing weekly and daily check-ins and implemented this like structure. And that has, for both of us, like made a world of difference in how we're showing up on our social medias, talking about our groups. Like we've come into like this new fire with our team. And I really feel like it stemmed from the fact that like we got really excited about what we were doing. And I know that sounds really simple, but if you're not excited about the content that you're putting together, if you're not excited about the groups you're running, like you're going to have a really hard time faking excitement on your social media. And like people are probably not going to want to be a part of something that maybe you don't even want to be a part of, right? So like, I know that you hear probably on calls like, a lot of people saying to not spend too much time on making things, right? Like obviously you should have, all of this needs to be on top of you doing your non-negotiables, right? You inviting people and connecting with people every single day and doing those things. But like, I want to tell you, like, it's okay to spend time making things that like make you excited, because you can send out all the invites you want, but if you're not excited about what you're inviting to, the number doesn't matter. If you spend a little bit of time, maybe not getting in as many invites, but creating the space that really fires you up and gets you excited, like your invites are just, there's gonna be more in them, and people can feel, they can feel when you're excited about something. They can feel when they're just getting another copy and paste invite, or when they're like being invited to this really cool thing that like you can't stop talking about. And so taking a little bit of time to get excited about what you're doing, to plan, to create a little bit of content will naturally seep into like how you share. And for me, that has like skyrocketed me. And then also team up. It's so hard as a new coach. Bod groups is making things so much easier. But team up, like I sat there in the beginning too and was like, I have nobody to put in a group. You know, I'm a new coach, blah, blah, blah. And it's true. Like you literally start from nothing, but find a buddy, find a success partner, find a person you just want to run groups with. And like the more the merrier. The more people you can get in a group, the more you have to talk about. And it's not something you have to commit to like forever. Me and Vic are like honestly in an unhealthy relationship where like we don't do anything separate from each other. It's good, we push each other, but like don't think you're in a like you're committing to a marriage with a person. But like team up in the beginning, go in with a group of you, like maybe it's just 2 of you, maybe it's a group. Like we encourage our new coaches to get together in a group and like run groups together. And again, it eliminates that excuse of like, well, I have nobody to put in there, or there's only 2 people in there. And if that is your excuse and you don't want to team up, like create the environment. Even if you have nobody in there, you showing up, by the time you're adding people in there, they're going to see that you've already been in there creating the environment, and they're not just being added to this like emptiness of nothing, right? And then lastly, just give yourself grace and time, because you guys, I'm a 1.5 years, almost 2 years into this, and I'm just now here hitting these high SC numbers and making, you know, decent money with it. Like 1.5 years in, you can't have a microwave mentality of like, I'm going to dive into coaching and send out all these invites and everyone's going to want to sign up. Like that's, I wish it was, I wish that was how it worked, but it doesn't. It like, you have to go through like, in March, every single person that I signed up was a follow-up. I did not get, I think I might've gotten a few girls who like reached out to me and were like, I want to do this, whatever it is. Every single other person was somebody that I had spent months to years planting seeds with. Like I had a girl sign up in March who I messaged in September of 2018 who did not respond to a single message of mine, but she kept watching my stories. So I kept reaching out to her. She was still in my business doors. Like she was still there. She was putting herself there, which warrants her an invite. She was in my business and never got a response, but I kept following. I will keep following up until that person says, please leave me alone, or until they block me, or until they unfollow me. Like if you are still here watching, you're here for a reason, right? And the fact that I kept showing up on the front end, but on the back end, I also was still in there like, hey, like there's still a spot for you. I'm still thinking about you. I still have a place for you. I still want to help you. Like every single person in March was a follow-up. And if I had taken that original ghost and been like, well, she just doesn't want it, or she doesn't need it, then like, I wouldn't be here hitting SC, 30 plus, right? Like you have to expect that you're going to suck in the beginning, and you have to find your footing, and you have to go through that time of like finding what feels right. And like literally everybody does. Okay. So it's nothing against you. It's like, it's just the name of the game. So yeah, moving forward. Okay. And get fucking results, because I really feel like for me, like I kind of briefly mentioned, I feel like in the beginning, I really emphasized like, come do this with me. Come do this with me. Like, look at where I'm at. You can do it too. And I've like really slowly transitioned into where I'm at now, which I feel like is like, look at me, look at what you can do too. I have the tools, I can help you. And again, we can be successful in both ways, but you don't have to have results to get started with coaching. Again, people want to be a part of the journey, and everybody can relate to starting somewhere. I just totally lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? I don't remember. Anyways, but I feel like getting results long term, that's what people are going to see and say like, okay, like like, again, the girl who's still here. Like, I'm here, and I'm not only here a year and a half later, but I also look very different, and I also have a completely different mind, and I, you know, show up differently, and I have all these different things that I'm doing. Like, it's not, I'm sorry, but it's not enough to just do the bare minimum. Like, if you want this, you, as a coach, at least, like, if you want to be a client and do the bare minimum, that's on you, that's fine. But as a coach, you need to dive into what it is you're selling people. Like, you need to, at some point, get results. No, not right off the bat. You don't have to like have a 6-pack when you start, but like at some point you need to see something through and see what it can do for you, so you know what it can do for other people. Something that I think Chelsea Pearson says a lot, who's like my grandma coach, is that if your business is struggling, get shredded. And it literally, that's what I did. Like, my business was struggling after October when I dropped my all-star thing. And so I just literally, like, I channeled that angry energy into my workouts, into my nutrition. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm coming back with a vengeance. And like, I really feel like people seeing the success in my like physical appearance has definitely helped. But again, like, I also was hitting SC every single month, not looking like this. So like, it is possible. Okay, moving forward. And I think this is my last slide here. Let me close my thing. So remember that we are all selling the same shit, you guys. We are all selling, and I kind of touched on this a little bit in the beginning, but like, we are all selling the same challenge packs, the same resources. Like, what people are buying is you. They are buying your personality. They're buying your why, and like why you're doing this. And I think it's really important not to like, don't compare yourself to Jessica. Like, it's okay to look at Carly or to look at Amy Silverman for some like inspiration, right? Excuse me. But like, you can't look at those people or those coaches, or even like myself, don't go to my Instagram and just start copying everything I'm doing. Like, you have to take these tidbits that you hear on all these calls and stuff and trainings and make them your own, so that you are not just a replica of Ashley and you're not a replica of Amy. Like, you are your own coach. So what value do you offer along with the resources that Beachbody has to offer? Because I feel like in the beginning, I emphasized so much Beachbody's resources, which are incredible, and like $160 for a challenge pack is an insane deal. If you don't think so, I want you to spend some time researching like local studios. I just went on my story yesterday and was comparing the price of Pure Barre in like a local boxing studio. A local boxing studio is almost $2,000 for a year just to get access to boxing. And that's it. If you want to add barre into that, you go to a barre studio. Barre classes are $30 a class. Like, what we have to offer, if you don't think it's a value, step back from coaching for 1 second, step back from your invites and stuff, and spend time doing some research on why this is a value. And so in the beginning, I spent so long, anyways, that was like a weird side rant, but I spent so long emphasizing the resources that Beachbody has to offer, which again, are fantastic on their own, but you're going to come to a point where there needs to be more than that. There needs to be some element of you and like what you can bring to the table. And and then lastly, I feel like this is a really powerful question you can ask yourself. Like, are you a middleman or are you a coach? Are you somebody who's just here to get somebody plugged in with the resources as a middleman? Or are you somebody who's here to coach them and like be that coach element? Because you guys, nobody needs a middleman. Like, it's just an extra step. And maybe it simplifies things if they go to the website and they get confused, but they don't need a middleman. They can go to the website and they can sign up. Right? Like, they're buying you and they're buying what you have to offer them. And they're buying your story and like why you're passionate about it and why I can impact their lives. So lastly, have a story and own it, whatever and whoever you are, be loud about it. I would rather I heard somebody say this one time and it really stuck with me. Like, I would rather not be someone's cup of tea than like leave no impression at all with them. And again, somebody in a call, I just get all my nuggets from team calls, but somebody in a call once said, like, you want to be the person that when somebody is ready to sign up, they're like, oh, that girl on Instagram that I'm always seeing talk about, blah, 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 blah. Like, maybe she could help me. Like, you want to be that girl. And it's so important for you to be showing up loudly on your social media so that you are that girl. And then I had this little quote here on the side, show up like the version or show up like the vision has come true and slowly watch it start to. Like, you need to be putting in the work right now as though those goals have already happened, and that's what gets you there. Like, I am where I'm at now is because I've just done the work, and it's like that simple. Like, not like if I haven't had any luck, I haven't, whatever, like I've just done the work that's laid out in front of me, and we all have the same work laid out in front of us, and it's literally just a choice of like whether or not you're going to do it and on what scale you're going to do it. Like, are you going to do your bat and then be like, oh, I'm done for the day, thank God, like that was so annoying? Or are you going to do your bat and then spend the rest of your day connecting with more people on Instagram or creating more valuable content and getting excited about it? Like, you are in control of your success with this business. We are all doing the same thing. Success does not play favorites. Like, you either do the work or you don't, and depending on that is like where you're going to go with it. And that is my last slide. Oh, okay, I digress.
Oh my God, I could listen to you, I feel like, all day. Holy
I was
moly.
right on time too. Whew.
Wow. Like, I'm blown away. And I'm like, I just have picked up so many nuggets just from tonight, but holy crap. Okay, so I took some notes of things that I wanted to ask you about. So you guys, if you have questions, please put it in the chat or just unmute yourself because that's way faster. My question is I love your idea of, really building on that community and how you and Vic are doing that. Like, so it's kind of a question of like what you mean by how you guys are kind of doing your daily posts. I love the idea of like the trivia night. I feel like I always love these ideas of these sip and sweats and, doing these like, fun together things. And, when quarantine isn't happening, like I'm really love, like we do like a local workout. And, with like the local girls around here, and we kind of open up to like a virtual thing. If I'm like, I always forget, I'm really terrible at it, but I love the idea of it. And so how is it that you get the engagement? So I know you kind of touched on it. Sometimes do you not always have a lot of girls that show up to your trivia nights or stuff like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, again, like back to kind of just accepting that like you're going to suck through it. And there's going to be times when like you talk about hosting this thing and maybe nobody shows up. I've heard this reference too with like team calls. Like, you don't have to have a big team to start hosting weekly team calls. If anything, get on a Zoom and like practice for the time when you do have people showing up. But we didn't start implementing these things, like these community things on our own until like the last 2 months. And in the meantime, we've just spent so much time like curating that community and adding people. Again, like that's the importance of teaming up. If you're teaming up with somebody or multiple people who are also committing to hitting Success Club, like you're bringing in at least 3 to 6 people a month, right? And like that adds up over time. And now Vic and I are at the point where like our group has almost 100 or 154 people in it, and we're only having like maybe 15% of those people getting on calls. But because we've taken the time to grow that community, now we're seeing people actually engaging in these, sip and sweats and stuff. But like for us, we were hopping on Carly's stuff all the time. She's still doing weekly sip and sweats that we're invited to, but now we're at the point where we're branching off from her and doing our own thing. So no, maybe you don't come from an upline where you can take part in that, but like teaming up is so, like, even if it's with another coach, like Amy, we can let's do one together. Like next, their days don't make any sense anymore. It's Monday. It's Monday. Maybe on Saturday, like let's team up with Vic and I, and like we can do like getting together like that. Like we're not here to be shady with one another. Like we are all Beachbody, if anything, like emphasizes like working together, right? Like that's why we have the national wake up call, and we get to hear from successful coaches. Like success leaves clues, and we all are here to help one another. So just team up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. So amazing. So then with your posts, like, so are you not so much like saying, all right, post your workout for the day and stuff like that? It's just like whatever your daily topic is, like Monday is whatever, Wednesday's personal development, that kind of thing. And if people share their workout check-in, great. But if not, you mostly want the participation on the post?
No. So Kind of the opposite, honestly. So like I said, we were running our groups very traditionally with like either a weekly check-in or a daily check-in. So like some kind of check-in with a prompt or like share your nice selfie or like a chug challenge, right? We were doing that for literally since I started coaching, and we were both sick of it. And we like, people seemed to be sick of it. We weren't like retaining clients because it was the same thing, you know, and they kind of got bored of it. And so we went through a month where we said to the girls, like, I think we went live or something, and we were just like, okay, here's what we're doing for, I don't remember what month it was, like 3 months ago. Here's what we're doing for, I think it was February. Like February, we are like giving you guys the reins. This space is here for you, and this space is here for you. And I think this is awesome if you're like a newer coach too. Like the space is here for you, especially with pod groups, to like use for accountability. Like there doesn't need to be any like fluff is nice and extra resources are nice, but like we got to that point where we were like, you guys know what this group is for, and it's for you to check in with your sweaty selfies. It's for you to check in, like share a picture of a yummy recipe you made, like share a struggle, share an NSV, whatever it may be. And we put the reins in their hands, and we're like honestly blown away with how they showed up. It was like we like lifted a weight off of their shoulders of waiting for this check-in post, and they were allowed to like be and show up however they wanted to on any given day. And so we spent a whole month just letting it be like that. And then we started implementing these, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever things, just as like additional resources on top of the basis of like what this group is here for, which is community and accountability. And like as coaches, we felt like we were just being too, like we were putting everything in a box, and like you could show up on any given day, but you had to, you know, check into this specific box. And so we lay that base, and now it's just like as a coach, we're just adding in those valuable resources on top of the fact that they're using it as just a place to stay accountable. And we've seen that like people are connecting with one another way more now. And so we don't get honestly a lot of engagement on our actual like week post. We get way more engagement with people just like commenting on each other's check-ins and stuff. So
oh my God. Okay, I get it. That's really cool. I love it. So you kind of just like let people show up there and feed off of each other, and then you started sprinkling in these like extra, you know, oh my God, I get it. So cool.
simple.
Yeah, it's super simple. And it just goes to show like you can always switch things up. You can always change it and make it like you said, if you're bored with it, do something about it, you know? And it's cool too, because like people don't really know, like people don't understand, like they don't know, like maybe like this month you're kind of like, you know, revamping your group and you're kind of like feeling things out. They just know that they're getting you, and they know that they're getting like that support and community. So it just, I don't know, it gives me, because I feel like that's something all of us have felt. You know, any of us that have been coaches for, you know, a few months, I feel like we all kind of get to that point where you kind of just want to, you know, it just feels good. Like it feels good to do seasonal spring cleaning and stuff like that. It feels good to like switch things up with your group and stuff. Does anyone have any questions? I'm trying to look. Nobody? Okay, I have one more question. So I know you said like for March was mostly follow-ups, which I freaking swear like follow-ups are literally everything. But so what would you say, it just for like everyone to kind of hear a little bit more about your daily, like how many invites do you typically, would you say that you send? Like, because obviously you must be doing more than like just the bare minimum to be.
This is so funny. Leanna asked this question on the team call, and I like got really nervous because my answer is not probably what you're looking for. I'm not here like 10xing my business, but even like you can be just as successful as where I'm at now by 10xing your business, by sending 100 invites a day, and by, you know, if you haven't read the 10x rule, that's what I'm referring to, like 10xing your business, basically just like doing the bare minimum times 10 every single day. So like 100 invites a day, for example. But for me, I spent so long doing the bare minimum. Like when I first started coaching, I just took the bat that was given to me, and because I was being told to, and like, you guys, the bat is literally made by Beachbody. Like they took the time to put coaches through using it and testing it, and it's like proven to get you to hit Success Club. So like if you're not using the bat, strongly encourage you to do so. They have an app. I don't know if you guys know that. Shoot, I don't remember what it's called. Let me look it up. I think it's just called,
Oh yeah, it's just like six SCBAT or something.
yeah, SCBAT, SCBAT. So like, I like that. I like having a physical piece of paper, but it's also nice if you don't like that, then you can use the app. But I spent so long just doing that because that's what I was told and that's what I knew. And I was kind of just going through the motions of, like I mentioned, just checking it off and being like, oh, I'm done for the day. Good. Like I spent so long doing that, and I was doing the minimum of, like, I think the bat says minimum 5. I was doing like 5 to 15 a day for so long. And I kind of transitioned into a season because I spent so long setting myself up with doing that, where now I'm not sitting down sending a certain amount of invites. I honestly don't sit down and check off my bat every day. Like I refer to it to know, like, okay, I feel a little scatterbrained. Like, what do I need to spend a little bit of time on? But now I feel like I'm just conditioned to connecting with people and invite, like looking where I can invite, but like I am always in it. Like I have a little, like, I need some boundaries. It's kind of a problem, but like I am always on Instagram, like with my business, like with a business mentality. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram just being like a consumer. Like I use it whenever I'm on it. I'm looking through accounts and I'm watching stories this was like a big game changer too for me, was like watching stories very intentionally. If you are on top of following new people and connecting with new people every day, like take the time to watch stories intentionally, because it should be filled with new stories of people that you don't really know, right? Like that's where I connect the most with people. I don't comment on posts. I don't typically like send a cold message of like, hey, I like your dog, I have a dog too. Like sometimes that works, but like for me, what feels good is just connecting with them on like the day-to-day, like stories specifically. It's so easy to watch a story and just make a comment on something, and like boom, you've just started a conversation. And so like for me, I'm not sending a specific amount of invites because I've set myself up all of those months doing the things. I'm at the point now where like I just am always looking for connection. I'm always looking where I can connect with someone, where I can start a conversation with somebody, where I can hopefully get somebody to follow me so that they're seeing what I'm doing. And I'm also at the point now where I've, spent so much time doing that like I'm also constantly doing follow-ups. So like constantly going through my feed and being like, oh, need to follow up with her. I watch my story. That's where I do my main, like if I want to sit down and nail out invites, I always go to my story first. And if you swipe up, it'll show you all the people who are watching your story. That's where I go every time to do invites. And if I need to do follow-ups, I'll go there, because I'm just the kind of person who, and like I would encourage you guys to like find what feels good with coaching. You don't want to be doing something that doesn't feel good to you. And for me, it doesn't feel good to send cold invites. Like I prefer to stay within my warm market. And if that's what I choose, then I need to make sure that my warm market is always a warm market and that I'm not running out of people. And that looks like connecting for me. And so I just spend a lot of time connecting with people. And then when I do want to like maybe drill out, especially at the beginning of the month, invites and follow-ups, I'll always just go to my stories and just see who's watching my stories, because if they're watching my stories, they're in your business, and don't feel bad about sending them an invite. They're clearly curious and interested, whether in your life or Beachbody or whatever. But that's also why it's important to be sharing about Beachbody on your stories, because when you send an invite, you want to be showing up on the front end just as much as you're showing up on the back end. Like don't be inviting people to something that they have no idea what you're talking about because you're not sharing on your stories. So all that to be said, I don't have a specific number at this point. I just really focus intentionally on constantly connecting, and then also just going through my stories and checking in, inviting and following up where I need to within that.
I love that. I really think it goes to show like you don't really need to focus on a specific number.
Mm-hmm.
Quality. You need to focus. Yes, quality over quantity. I think that's why, like, I think it's, as a new coach, right? I think 5 is like just a good, it's all about creating that discipline, like the consistency of the discipline of connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel like, it's hard because you want to give new coaches some structure. And I feel like everyone craves structure, especially when they're new at something. But I think I totally would agree with you. Like, I don't feel like I don't always keep track of how many invites I'm sending anymore because I just feel like I'm constantly trying to have conversations and I'm constantly following up with people and I'm constantly, just trying to re-engage with people that are watching my journey and stuff. So, but yeah, I love that. I think that's really, really awesome advice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, oh my God, it's 9:05. Crap. Does anybody have any last minute questions? I don't want this call to end. I love it so much. All right.
Too, like if you want to message me on Instagram or something, I'll type my handle here for you. Amy, I think you tagged me in something too. But yeah, if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free. I love talking about coaching, so I'll talk your ear off.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yay. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. And I will be messaging you because I think that would be really fun to do a team up.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye, Ash.
Bye, guys.